What's going on, everyone? It's been a little while since I made a video. I just wanted to start with an update. I've been using a Hart Tools rinser as a camp shower, hand wash kind of station for about the past 4 years. Unfortunately, it has died. It's out of the warranty period and they no longer make it. I've been exploring my options. In my options, I've come across the Easy Sink, which seems all right, but it's basically just a bucket with a $40 pump in it. This led me to find the Sandy Cat's trail wash system, and it's a very nice system. As somebody who used to work in specialty plumbing, a lot of the fittings that they use are very nice, and I definitely trust them whenever they say that the thing is bomb-proof. However, since a lot of those are specialty products, you can't just walk into Home Depot and pick them up. So this is going to kind of serve as a rough guide for building this. This is for everyone that really likes the Sandy Cat product, but maybe was turned off by the price tag. And once again, not knocking Sandy Cats, they make a great product, it seems. Everything that they are putting into their product is top notch. Whenever you're looking through the parts list that Sandy Cat's provided, a lot of the products that you find, if you only need one, you're talking about almost doubling the price between what these companies offer for shipping. All of these products will be going into a Scepter 5-gallon jerry can, which is what you see here. This is the lid for it. All right, so the first thing we're gonna need to do is this regular spout that goes on top of the jerry can. So this is the cap for it, twists onto a Scepter 5-gallon / 20-liter jerry can. So this guy needs to go. And I'm going to be replacing it with one of the fittings from this Gardena kit. And I'm going to be using this 3/4 inch male NPT to 3/8 inch hose barb that I picked up at Ace Hardware. So let's go ahead and get this guy cut off. Arts and crafts continues. You're going to want a step drill bit or a hole saw that is capable of cutting a 1 1/8 inch hole. So this 3/4 inch NPT to barb fitting can go through like that. Then you're going to need Shaby Weld plastic bond, and out of this Gardena kit, you're going to want this guy. Now this is a water stop, so that means that even if you leave the pump on, water isn't just going to come spraying out of this if you don't have anything attached to it. So the way this is going to fit together, the barb side is going to go there. So you should have something that looks like that. And then once again, the barb side will be on the inside, and I'm going to JB weld this in. That way I don't have to worry about any leaks. And this tether is really bugging me. Let me go ahead and cut it off. And just a good pair of house scissors will be able to cut right through that. All right, so you should have something that looks like this. Quick side note, the threads on this are a little bit long. So what I did was there was originally a cap right here that went on to the spout. I basically just, so if you can imagine this, but really small, it was right here. I basically just cut this part off of the little piece that was here and used it as a washer inside. That way I was able to kind of tighten everything down as a layer in there. And then just, used a pair of wrenches to hold on to it and just hand crank the hell out of this. That way it was nice and snug. So I'm gonna let this cure overnight, and then I will continue on with this. Just gonna set it off to the side for right now. Now, one of the reasons I bought this kit specifically, other than it being available at Home Depot for $10, was because of all the attachments it came with. This piece we're not going to wind up using at all. But these additional quick connects, we are going to use. This is like a little flexible faucet, it has a quarter turn, that way you can turn the water off. This is going to be a quick connect piece. It's all going to go together. Then we don't have to deal with a big sprayer, like trying to maneuver it. It's just like your faucet at home. All right, so that's all nice and tight. It's going to be your faucet with your quick connect. So you're going to have something that can just drop right in like that, and quick connect out. Drill hole for this little guy. This is the cable gland. This is going to prevent any water from leaking out around our connection to the motor. So looks like need about a 9/16 hole for this. This plastic is so thick though that you have to drill both sides. Should wind up with something that looks like that. I found this pump on Amazon. A lot of the pumps that I found were that were cheaper than the Sandy Cats. Seemed like they're like aquarium pumps. This one is actually designed for a galley, for either a sailboat or an RV. So, and this one is made in Taiwan and has an actual spec sheet. Unlike a lot of the other cheaper products that were populating on Amazon, they were nice enough to mark which one of these cables is positive and which one's negative. So what we're going to do is cut this down to length, and then we're going to use some solder connections to secure this pigtail to this motor. First thing I'll need to do is determine my cable length. Give myself about 6 inches or so. And I'll have plenty of room if I have any errors in the soldering process. And I'm not going to cut down this pigtail at all. I'll leave myself a nice bit of length, that way I can position it however I want, with Velcro either on the sides or up top, and maybe even the back. Alright, so next up I need to cut down this. I just bought this clear vinyl tubing. I'm not using this for drinking water, so this is going to be fine for washing hands, showering, like I said. This length I got from Home Depot. I think it was $5 for 10 feet. It is 3/8 inch inner diameter, 1/2 inch outer diameter, and that'll just go right there onto the pump and the 3/8 barb. Then I'm going to secure both ends with ring clamps, hose clamps, whatever you want to call them. Although I'm pretty sure that alone is going to be sufficient. So, should wind up having something that looks like this. If you're not familiar with how these work, this is a waterproof cable gland. And what happens is there's a little rubber bushing inside of there that, as you're tightening this, it's almost like an aperture. It just tightens up and puts a waterproof ring around a cable. The company was even nice enough to provide a little ring that tells you which cable's positive. And just for reference, it's going to be the one with the black stripe. The white one, the white cable is the ground. Go ahead and split these out just a little bit. Okay, that should be enough. Just want to clear off about an inch, inch and a half of this sheathing. I'm going to go ahead and put that back on there. That way in case there's any issues in the future and I need to diagnose this, I know which side's which. And for attachment, we're going to be using these solder wire connectors. They're heat shrink style connectors. So you heat it up, this little bit in the middle melts and it forms a solder joint between the two. And then these little colored rings are actually a waterproof glue. So we're going to be doing this and then 2 layers of heat shrink tubing just to make sure that everything is watertight. So we're going to want to cut these back a little bit. That way these don't overlap and you can't fit shrink wrap over, or the shrink tubing over them. So I'm going to cut about that much off of the positive cable. So this is 16 gauge wire, just more than enough for the little bit of current that's going to be going through here. All right, so got everything laid out here with the heat shrink tubing and the heat shrink connectors, and I'm going to be using these helping hands. So I don't have a heat gun, so I'm going to be using this little torch. All right, so that's the positive connection done. All right, we got a nice solid soldered connection there. So swapping over to the negative now. And when you're feeding these in, you kind of want the cables to overlap just a little bit. That way, whenever this solder inside of here shrinks up, it will melt some, but it will also tighten. You double up your effectiveness of your connection. 2 nice strong connections. Now we can put our heat shrink tubing over these. You want to make sure that you kind of get it centered in there so that we have a good bit of overlap. And so I got it on each side there, and I'm going to add this larger piece over both of them. Give ourselves a 3rd layer of protection from any water getting to these connections and blowing up this motor or the battery pack. I really should invest in a heat gun if I'm going to keep doing these electrical projects like this. All right, edges look good. I think we're ready to zip tie this all together. All right, we have our completed pump assembly, so I think I'm ready to do a little bit of testing here. All right, so we got a finished trail wash here. Just a little DC 5521 barrel plug. We got our quick connect fitting here. A little faucet. Great to wash your hands. And if you want to take a shower or rinse your feet off or whatever you need to, we got this RV hose. Quick connects right in. It's got a water stop on it, so wherever you're showering, it doesn't just eat up all your water. I'll just drop it to a dribble. Pretty decent volume out of it. Not the most pressure, but I mean, this is pretty small pump in there. But this is more than enough to wash yourself up after baby wipes and shower pouches and stuff like that won't work anymore. So that's going to be it for now. There we go. Fits nice and perfectly underneath the deck lid that I have here. Plenty of clearance. And now I don't have to before the heart system was tucked way back in this wheel well. It was just a pain to be able to get it in and out. This is a much better system, and I'm really looking forward to getting out there and using it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and like I said, down in the description, I'm going to go ahead and leave the entire parts list for this, including the costs.